in a few minutes because the outside is it looks okay, but the inside is a battlefield. Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry, I forgot it. So we have been here at the 7th of October. Me, my husband Ohad, and 3 children. The oldest is Eitan, he was 12. Yael was 10, and a small baby, she was 1 year and 8 months. We woke up, there was so many alarms, but we know what to do because we had it before. So we went to the safe room, and very quickly we understood something else is happening because we started to hear shouting in Arab outside the house, Allahu Akbar a lot, and shouting. We started to hear shooting on our house. You can see the bullets on the windows and on the house. We started to smell smoke. You can see everything. The cars outside were burning. So we understood something very, very bad is happening. We tried to close the door of the safe room, but we couldn't. There was a problem with the door. So we waited. We heard the shooting and the shouting all the time, and many, many rockets above and alarms. At about 8 o'clock, the alarm started at 6:30. At about 8 o'clock, Ohad, my husband, decided to go outside the safe room and to shut the door on us because that was the only way to close the door. So he left us inside, me and the 3 children, and he went outside and waited. He wrote it to his friend. He was asking a lot, where is the army? And he also wrote, there are many, many terrorists. He saw him from the windows. He saw them from the windows. And he also wrote to his friend, his best friend, our last minutes. He was sure we are going to die, and this is the end. At about 10 o'clock, the terrorists succeeded to enter the house. They bombed grenade inside. You will see it when getting inside. They shot Ohad. He was outside the safe room, sorry. We heard him screaming. And then they entered the safe room. 4 of them. They were full with uniform, with the guns and grenades and full armed. I was sitting with a baby on me, and I asked the 2 big children to stand near me. They took our phone immediately, and they started to shout on us in Arab, and said also in English, Gaza, come. I understood immediately what they want. The children asked me what they want, and I told them they want to take us to Gaza. Don't move. I told them to scream help. We were screaming for a few minutes. I was sure the army is here. I was sure most of the shooting I hear, it's the army. I couldn't imagine there were so many terrorists here. So I told them not to move and to shout. But after a few minutes, one of them pointed his gun on me and said, I shoot. And he didn't left us any choice. So we got out of the safe room. He covered me with a blanket, one of them, because I was with a pajama. When getting outside of the safe room, we saw Ohad on the floor, bleeding, injured, but he was still unconscious. I asked him what to do. He told us to go with them. I tried to save my baby. I put the baby on him because I was sure they will not take a baby. But they took her and pushed us outside the house. Ohad, that was the last moment I've seen him since then, injured on the floor. I didn't say goodbye. I just thought how to save my children. They took us outside and they asked for my key car. They wanted to take us to Gaza with my car. But when getting outside, I saw all the cars here, and my car also, on fire. They burned all the cars. So we were standing here on the road, waiting. They were filming me. I was begging them to release the children, and I was looking around to see if there opportunity to escape, but there were so many terrorists around, so we couldn't do anything. After filming me and not responding, of course, they didn't respond to my request. Two motorcycles has arrived and stopped here on the road. On the first motorcycle, they took my son, Eitan, and two terrorists were on the first motorcycle. One of them were holding my baby. Me and the other daughter, 10 years old daughter Yael, we were sitting on the second motorcycle. Before starting the driving, the baby was crying, so they took the baby and gave me the baby. So Eitan, my son, was alone on the first motorcycle. We started to drive through the kibbutz. The houses were burning, it's big flames, the trees, the cars, but I still didn't understand what I'm seeing. I was sure we are the event. I was sure we are the issue. They were succeeded to kidnap a family. I thought it's because of the problem with the door. And I thought we are the issue. I couldn't understand. Even though I saw the houses on fire, I didn't understand the event, and I had a feeling the event was ending because they were shouting to each other, talking in the walkie-talkie, and I saw many of them getting outside of the kibbutz. So I was sure the event was finished because they kidnapped a family. So we got outside of the kibbutz with the two motorcycles, heading to Gaza. We were driving through hundreds of terrorists and citizens from Gaza. They were on the way back to Gaza. After looting everything here, I saw even children from Gaza, the age of my son, with knives. And they were walking with a big television on the back and microwave. And I saw the tractors of the kibbutz. It was so surrealistic. I couldn't understand what I see. We were driving through all the hundreds of people. And I was thinking all the time how to escape. I was thinking I'm not going there. Very close to the border, I've seen Gaza getting bigger and bigger, and I've seen the border. Very close to the border, two tanks of the army were driving widely at the fields, and the hundreds of terrorists were starting to panic. There was also a helicopter shooting, and our motorcycle were following. That was the last moment I've seen my son, Eitan. His motorcycle continued to Gaza. One of the terrorists took me and the two daughters to a container nearby. He pointed his gun on us and told us he will take us to Gaza. And I was asking him, where is my walad? Walad, it's my son in Arabic. Where is my walad? Where is my walad? And after a few seconds, I understood he's not going to take me to Eitan. And I heard one of the tanks getting very close to the container. So we were running outside, the baby all the time on my hands, Yael near me. I'm giving her instruction. And we were running outside, and we were waving to the tank. He didn't stop, he couldn't stop. There were so many terrorists around. But this gave me a few seconds to run, and we ran to the fields, far away from the terrorists. After about 20 minutes of running in the fields, we were without shoes, with pajamas. I was very tired of carrying the baby. I told Yael to lie down on the ground to make ourselves like we are dead. And we covered ourselves with a blanket. They covered me before taking us. So we were like this for about half an hour, I think, and we heard the voices getting closer. When I understood we were exposed, we got up, and two men arrived, two terrorists. One of them was speaking English. He asked me, where are we going? So I told him we are going back to Nir Oz. He told me Nir Oz is on fire, everybody is dead, that it is better for us to go with them to Gaza. He tried to convince me to go with them. I looked at them and I thought they have no weapon. I told him, you took already one walad, and we continued to run away to the fields. They didn't run after us. I think they wanted to arrive to Gaza already because they saw already the two tanks and the helicopter. We were at the fields about 3.5 hours. It was so, I used already the word surrealistic, but it was so surrealistic. We are running, I am with the baby on my hand. We are very thirsty, it was the end of the summer. We see terrorists sometimes around, the rockets above us, and we hear the alarms from the kibbutz. And we see the kibbutz, everything was burning. I felt like I'm in a surrealistic movie. I was trying to understand what to do. I decided not to go back to the kibbutz through the gate they took us because I've seen so many terrorists that were there. So I decided to surround the kibbutz through the fields and get to the northern part of the kibbutz because from far it looked like it's not burning like all other parts in the kibbutz. We surrounded the kibbutz, and when we arrived to the northern part from outside, we saw a bus coming. Now I know that it was the first bus of soldiers that arrived to the kibbutz after 8 hours. There was no army in, there was no fight here. When the army arrived, the last terrorists already left. And they took already 76 people from here and killed, today I think we know about more than 54 people. The story is long. Eitan, I will make it short. Eitan, this is Eitan. Eitan was returning back after 52 days in Gaza. About Ohad, I didn't know his condition. We left him injured at the house, and I was sure they will not take him. He was injured, but after a few hours, we got a message from the army that Ohad is not at home. We didn't understand understood the meaning of that. We thought maybe Ohad got outside himself to look for us. Maybe he's around. Maybe he's in the fields, dead. We didn't know. Only at the beginning of November, the army told us Ohad was kidnapped for sure. Eitan was returning after 52 days, and the story he told us was, I can't sleep until today when I'm thinking about what he has been through, because I was sure they will treat children good. And I was sure he will not be alone because 76 people from Kibbutz Nir Oz were kidnapped. But when he got back, he told us he was 16 days by himself. only with Hamas soldiers, and they were not treating him well. I'm not talking about eating. He ate only one pita and one cucumber per day, but that he can survive. They forced him to see the movies they took with
body cams.
Yeah. And when he cried, they pointed the gun on him and they beat him. And they told him many, many stories. They told him that Israel doesn't exist anymore, that I'm in Gaza and his sister are not in. They told him many, many stories. And he was passing 4 houses. After 16 days, they took him to El Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis. They were holding there many, many hostages from Nir Oz. And this part is horrible also, but this part I'm more calm because I know that from this part and on, he's not alone. He was connected to 9 people in a small room, 9 people from Nir Oz. 5 of them were children and 5 of them were women. The youngest in the room was 2.5 years and the oldest was 85 years. And after 52 days, he came back. He didn't know I'm here. I was escaped. He didn't know someone will wait for him. He was very, very worried that I will not be there. And he was very surprised to see me. But he realized that he's starting a new life because he cannot come back here. The kibbutz is not here. You will see the house, the community is not here. I decided to start a new life. I'm not living with the community. We passed to another kibbutz. And it's not easy to start a new life for a child in that age. He started the teenager period. But he's okay, and we are okay. I'm saying to everybody that we survived. We will be okay physically, but we cannot heal until Ohad will come back, the father of the children. We don't know anything about him since January. We don't know if he's alive even. The army knew to tell us that he was alive until January. At the middle of January, a small group from Gaza, radical group, published a film of Ohad. It's probably a film from the first week of the war because he was still with haircut and shaved. At the end of the film, they wrote that Ohad was killed by the fire of the army. We don't know if it's true or not, but since then we don't have any sign from Ohad. And we live like that without knowing, and this is the hardest part. 2 hard things in our life, it's the unknowing and the thinking about them there. This is breaking us every day. The children are asking about him and them every day. Why is it taking so long? Will he be back? Is he alive? And I don't have answers for them. But thinking about them there, to know that they didn't treat children well, I don't want to think what they are doing to the men there. Need the world help to get them back, to get them out of there, from the horror, from the caves, from the tunnels, not caves. That's our story. Batsheva.
That was Batsheva Yahalomi. Her husband still remains in Gaza. I'm at Kibbutz Nir Oz, following a visit to Kibbutz Nir. It is day 360. We still have 101 hostages. In the distance you can hear the symphony of war as planes strike and artillery shells bang. You can just hear that now. This is an Israel brief with a difference. I promise you guys tomorrow we'll discuss Nasrallah and everything that happened in the north. But today, on day 360, we are in the south. 360 days. We want them home now.